Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I'm going to be telling you guys the most underrated and overrated brawler in Brawl Stars right now. Before we start this video, please make sure you subscribe, as I really want to hit 700 subscribers as soon as possible. Please like the video, please join my Discord server, it's in the links in the descriptions down below, and let's start off with the video. Starting off with the overrated brawlers, and the first overrated brawler in Brawl Stars right now is definitely Chester. Ever since Chester got that Bellomania nerf and so many other brawlers got buffed, like the Frank reworks and other brawlers that are just better than Chester, like Kenji, Mo, Lan, Laurie, Barry, like so many other brawlers getting hypercharges, getting reworks. Chester just slowly fall off the meta, and people still think that Chester is really good. While Chester is just not really good in the meta right now. There's so many better damage dealers in the game right now. I think even B and Griff, those brawlers who are not really good in the meta, are better than Chester. I think Griff is definitely way better than Chester, and other brawlers that are doing what Chester is doing, getting control with the supers or dealing damage, are better than Chester. Like for example, Surge is a better counter. Before it was Mo and Kenji and Lan and Laurie doing much better control brawler. But right now, nowadays, Chester is just not really that great in the meta. Unfortunately, I don't know what is even happening to Chester, and people are overrating Chester because people are still playing Chester in Brawl Stars right now. I've seen so many games where people are playing Chester in Hot Zone, in Brawl Ball, not just in ladder. Of course, this is okay in ladder, but also in ranked, in Legendary 2, Legendary 3. I've seen Chester, people play Chester in Brawl Stars, which I don't understand why. That was a horrible super, by the way, which I don't understand why, because Griff, when I play in ranked, there are brawlers that are much better than Chester, but they're not banned, like Surge and stuff like that, which I don't understand. But I mean, that's what people say. That's why I put Chester in the most overrated brawler right now. Honestly, I think Chester does need some much deserved love, because Chester didn't really get the time to shine in the meta when he was meta. I think he deserves much more love, deserves to be like A tier or maybe even S tier if you guys want that to happen. So I do think maybe a damage buff or like a health buff or something like that, something slow that can actually help Chester nowadays, something like that. Even a gadget buff or star power. I think the other star power where it reveals your next super definitely needs a rework, because that is just a horrible star power. But yeah, that is it for the first overrated brawler. Now let's move on to the second overrated brawler in Brawl Stars right now. The next overrated brawler in Brawl Stars right now, in my opinion, is definitely Piper. I know this might be a bit controversial because, Piper is technically still a good brawler, but I think people are just overusing Piper a lot. There are definitely way better options in height. I'm seeing people play Piper in safe zone and stuff like that, even though there are brawlers that are much better, like Chuck, Colette, other even brawlers, Brock or something like that, to do more damage, more control. I still think Piper is really good. It's not that Piper is bad. Piper is still really good, but people are just overrating Piper a lot. People think that Piper is like S tier, high A tier, while Piper is lower in the A tier. I think slowly maybe she is falling off the meta right now, because the maps really don't suit her nowadays. Like the maps are being more open closed based, like this map right now that I'm playing, like Canal Grande and stuff like that. Maps with too many walls and grasses, which doesn't suit Piper at all. Piper needs an open map so she can actually be at her best. But yeah, even though she's still good, she's slowly falling off because of the nerfs that are happening to her before with the auto aimer, and nerfs that will probably happen in the future too. And people still think that Piper is one of the best brawlers in Brawl Stars. Well, she's definitely slowly falling off in the meta, but I still think Piper is good, but not as good as you guys think. That is the next. Let's move on to the next overrated brawler, but Piper is an overrated brawler. The next overrated brawler in Brawl Stars right now is of course Kenji. Kenji is still good, of course. All these brawlers, of course, I'm mentioning are still maybe good or falling off, but Kenji is like B tier, low A tier. But ever since Kenji got the real speed nerf and other buffs, other nerfs, he has not been the same as before. As we know before, because before Kenji was a menace, he used to kill a lot of enemies. You could get your super faster, you can reload faster, you can get your super faster, and just a lot of things. Also, the star power is absolutely broken. But now the star power isn't as broken as people think. And Kenji is just overall not the best. People still overrate Kenji a lot. I think Kenji is B tier, but people still play Kenji a lot in ranked and ladder. And I think Kenji is an overrated brawler. The next overrated brawler in Brawl Stars right now is Spike. Ever since Spike got so many nerfs before, he has been very bad in the meta. And people think just because Spike got a health buff and he's getting health buffs, that Spike is like now an S tier brawler back in the meta, while Spike is still not in the meta. I think still Spike just doesn't do enough damage, which is very rare because Spike, before Spike dealt a ton of damage, absolutely would shred tanks like Frank and Bull and all these other tanks, Ash, El Primo. But now we have so many other tank metas, tank counters, and he just doesn't do enough damage. Like there's so many other better options to counter attack, like Nita, you can easily get the super fast, or Colette, Lou, Riff, all these brawlers that are slowly creeping up the meta because of Spikes getting nerfs, Moles, Kenji is getting nerfs, and they're getting also buffs, also like Griff getting a I think it was a supercharge buff or super damage buff, which was a lot for Griff, also helped Griff a lot. So yeah, I still think Spike is just not a great brawler nowadays, and people are just playing Spike literally everywhere. Like every single time I play ranked, I would see Spike at least like once every 2 games or 3 games, which is very weird because Spike is just not that great, and people are just playing Spike everywhere. If it's against tanks, if it's not against tanks, and I'm playing like Masters, Legendary, ranked gameplay, where it's supposed to get a little bit competitive, but people are just playing Spikes and weird brawlers. Not even just in ranked, even in YouTube or other places, or people on Reddit and stuff like that. People say that Spike is actually good. Well, Spike is just not that great, honestly, and it's very overrated. So yeah, I think Spike is very overrated. I think he does deserve a damage buff, because without the damage buff, Spike is just not that good in the meta. I think once he gets a damage buff, maybe another buff, maybe like a supercharge buff, a hypercharge rework. Hypercharge is not the best hypercharge in the game, and it takes a bit too long to get. So I think either a hypercharge rework to get the hypercharge sooner, or the damage buff. And I think once that happens for Spike, he will definitely keep up in the meta. I think that is it for the Spike rambling and rapping. Move on to the next overrated brawler. The next overrated brawler in Brawl Stars right now is Crow. Crow is just, I don't know what happened to Crow. I think ever since Crow got that glowing toxic nerf, his gadget, he's just really falling off. I've not seen Crow in competitive in a long time, even at all this year, I don't know. And Crow, I don't know what even happened. I think they're just better brawlers than Crow that can do better things than him. Like Byron, if you want to do the slow thing, Byron is there, that's better than Crow. If you want to do damage, obviously there will way better damage dealers than Crow. For tanks, if you want to stop tanks, again, there are so many other brawlers that are better than doing tank carrying than Crow. And for control, again, there's so many other better brawlers that can do better jobs than Crow. And the hypercharge is just not really that good at all, and it takes like so long to get, which is very not good for Crow, because you can only get a hypercharge like maybe once per game, and that's it. It's not really good, and the hypercharge doesn't do that much itself. The only good use case for the hypercharge is of course the high save, which does a lot of damage to the high save, but in Brawl Ball and Hot Zone and stuff like that, hypercharge does not do that much at all. Right now it did amazing, but in Legendary 1, Legendary 2, Legendary 3 Masters, it doesn't do good at all, and they're just better brawlers than Crow, and people still play Crow a lot. I don't know why people still play Crow a lot. I've seen Crow being played in Hot Zone and Gem Grab as a lane or mid, and even in Hype, I've seen Crow being picked over Top and Flat, which is obviously very, very, very weird and not good at all, because Crow is not a good brawler right now. Maybe he's like a C tier, high D tier, but that's it for Crow. So yeah, I understand why people play Crow a lot. Obviously it's their main Crow that's good for them, but in competitive, Crow is not good in Brawl Stars. So yeah, now let's move on to the underrated brawlers and Brawl Stars right now. Starting with the underrated brawler and the first underrated brawler in Brawl Stars right now, it's Otis. Otis is finally back in the meta after being, very bad in the meta or not great at all in the meta for so long. Ever since Otis got the buff with the hypercharge, but there was a bug in Brawl Stars for Otis for the hypercharge that when you were using the hypercharge, the initial star power was not working, so you only had like 3 ints that you were shooting while using the hypercharge. Now it's finally fixed. Now Otis is finally back in the meta, not just because of that, because Otis secretly does a lot of damage. Otis just does everything. You can mute assassins, you can take care of assassins. If you want to control base brawler, Otis is there with the gadgets. Look at all these shots. Hypercharge is really easy and fast to charge, and Otis is just really good in the meta right now, guys. Trust me on this. Otis does a lot of damage, a lot of AC, a lot of DPS, and Otis is not an F tier or high AC brawler, but it's a very secret and underrated and unappreciated brawler in Brawl Stars right now. You should definitely play him, even in competitive. A lot of people play Otis in the Brawl Stars in competitive. This is the first underrated brawler. Let's move on to the second underrated brawler in Brawl Stars right now. The next underrated brawler in Brawl Stars right now, it has to be Maisy. Ever since Maisy got that damage buff from 2,800 damage to 3,000 damage, Maisy has been absolutely shredding everyone. The tanks, everyone, just everyone. And it's been so good to see Maisy back in the meta, because so many people were saying that Maisy was trash. People back before were overrating Maisy, but now Otis Maisy has been absolutely amazing in the meta. Does so much damage. Also now, like 3 shots equals 9,000 damage, which is absolutely crazy. You can kill most of the brawlers with that. And with the damage gear, you can do even more damage. With the hypercharge, you can do more damage. The hypercharge is not too hard to get. The hypercharge is still good. And Otis Maisy just does so much damage, so much control. She's definitely back in the, slowly picking up back in the meta. And yeah, I definitely recommend you getting the Maisy hypercharge, and also getting Maisy to level 11, because she's secretly very underrated, and she does so much damage in Brawl Stars right now. And also for Maisy, she absolutely is really good in the meta, and in all the meta, hot zone, knockout, brawl ball, everywhere. So I do recommend you upgrading Maisy to level 11. That is the most underrated brawler in Brawl Stars right now. It has to be Meeple. A lot of people were saying that Meeple is one of the worst brawlers that Brawl Stars released. I highly disagree with that. I think it's not the best brawler, obviously. It's not broken or anything like that, which is good, obviously, for the meta. But I don't think that Meeple is like so bad. Also, before Meeple got released, Meeple got buffed actually before being released. I think it was a reload speed buff and some other buff that I don't really remember. But yeah, Meeple is definitely a good brawler. People are underrating Meeple. The gadget, the mansions of Meeple gadget is absolutely amazing. Also, if you guys want me to, the best builds for Meeple or best tricks and everything like that, make sure you check out this short right here. But yeah, Meeple, this gadget is absolutely broken in my opinion. It's a very good gadget. Trapping enemies while using your super also is so good. And also, obviously, the reload speed buff with the star power also absolutely amazing. And yeah, I think Meeple is definitely a good brawler. I think low B tier, high A tier, something like that. I think Meeple does a lot of damage, considering the short hero speed. Also, Meeple also does has a lot of control. It's also very weird for a brawler like this. And also the walls, the walls is a really good build for Meeple, because you can counter so many brawlers with that, like Jackie, like Shade. So yeah, I think Meeple is definitely an underrated brawler in Brawl Stars. Do not count this brawler out. Definitely do play on Meeple in competitive. Not every single time. Meeple is not an A tier or S tier brawler, but play Meeple and try him out. And yeah, now let's move on to the next underrated brawler in Brawlers right now. The next underrated brawler in Brawlers right now, it has to be Lola. Lola, ever since Lola got released, she has always been like in and around the top 10. And right now, she's definitely not top 10, but she's very underrated. And I don't know why people are not really talking about Lola, because she does a lot of damage, she has good HP, her super is really good, gadgets and star powers both are really good, and she does everything. She does a lot of damage, she has a lot of HP, good range, but no, not really any people play Lola. Very weird. And I think Lola, especially in Heist, is really good, especially in Bridge Too Far, where you can use that switch gadget, you can switch lanes very easily. That's really good. Also with this, star power, like, really well. Teammates also really good, because actually surprisingly does a lot of healing. So yeah, Lola, absolutely amazing, does a lot of damage. There's a really good counter too, and you should definitely play Lola more in competitive. Now let's move on to the last and final underrated brawler in this video. The next and last underrated brawler in Brawlers right now has to be Janet. Ever since Janet obviously got the hyper charge, absolutely amazing. She does surprising a lot of damage, she does damage per hit. She really great, very fast, really let's go in every mode really everywhere, and she would still be S tier. I think Janet is actually an A tier, high A tier, maybe even S tier brawler, because her hypercharge is that good. Like ever since she got that hypercharge, she has been absolutely amazing in the meta right now. She's way better than all the other brawlers that I mentioned. She's definitely the best one, and still people don't really play her competitive a lot. Pro players and stuff like that play Janet a lot because how good the hypercharge is, and also the other gadget. This gadget is pretty good, but the other gadget is so much better. You can use it to scout the grass, and also not just that, not let the enemies heal up. It's really good. And